Get started in about a minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. Morning, Carson. Good morning, Carson.
Morning, how are you?
I'm not bad, and you?
I'm doing fine.
Good. Good. 2 more days of this, and then spring break, and then we get back to in class. Maddie, what's up?
Hi.
Good to see you. All right, here we go. As promised, what we're doing today is this is supposed to just be a review for the people that need help. Everyone else, the worksheet's already online. If you know what you're doing, well, then you can go and get started. But I am going to literally do the entire worksheet with whoever's left, and that allows me to do individualized help with anyone that needs it. If you don't need help, then do your worksheet, turn it in. If you do need help or you just want to do it with me, that's fine. Obviously, I'll post the video after the class. So for those of you that also want to review this with the video playing in the background, you can do that as well too if you're not live. I would encourage you to do this worksheet multiple times. I know that sounds kind of weird, but the more practice you get on this, the more fluent you become in the process, the quicker it is, the less amount of scratch work you need to do, and it turns into more like what you typically do. If I say 3 plus 5, no one gives that a second thought, they say 8. If I say 3 times 5, nobody gives it a second thought, they say 15. Adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing with negative numbers will be done likewise, meaning like a year from now, you won't be thinking these processes through, you'll just be doing them. But I realize this is the start, so many of you are not completely fluent with this. And also as a warning, tomorrow we get to subtraction, and then we go on spring break. Some of you will forget a lot of this stuff, so we'll come back and we'll do a good review on that first day back. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. There are 2 rules for adding integers. The rules are called the same sign rule or the different sign rule. When the signs are the same, that means both numbers are either positive or both numbers are negative. Well, here's 2 examples. Both numbers on the left there are positive, both numbers on the right there are negative. There are 2 steps, and the step number 1 says you add the absolute value of both numbers. So you take the absolute value of both numbers and you add. Step number 2, you look back at the original numbers. If you're adding positive numbers, the answer is positive. If you're adding negative numbers, well, the answer is negative. That is the rule. So without further ado, I mean, this is the process. Like I said, many of you don't need to write each and every one of these steps, but some of you at least need to think through these steps. So I take the absolute value of 7 and 4. No one actually writes that ever down. They simply write the absolute value of 7 and 4, which is 7 and 4, and they add those 2 numbers together. So 7 plus 4 is 11. So the last step is you look back and ask yourself, was I adding positive or negative numbers? I'm adding positive numbers. So the answer is 11. On the second one, once you determine that you are adding 2 of the same signs, we are 2 negatives, you take the absolute value of both numbers. Nobody actually writes that down. They simply take the absolute value of both numbers, 7 and 4, and they add. 7 plus 4 is 11. But last step, we go back to the original 2 numbers and say were the numbers positive or negative. They were negative, so the answer is not 11, but the answer is negative 11. There is your rule for adding with the same signs. Maddie, you feeling comfortable about this? Okay. All right. Second rule, so those are the rules for same signs. So the second rule deals when the signs are not the same, the different sign rule. So the different sign rule is when two numbers, one is positive and one is negative, such as that, 7 is positive, 4 is negative, or when one number is negative and one number is positive. Now the 7 is negative and the 4 is positive. You will get two completely different answers here. All right. So there are 3 steps to this rule. The 3 steps, so it starts off the same. We take the absolute value of both numbers. The middle step is different. We won't add, we will subtract. And how you subtract is, well, you'll have a big number and a small number after you take the absolute value. So after you take the absolute value, you'll have 2 numbers. One will be big, one will be small. Unless both numbers are the same, then it doesn't matter the order that you write subtraction. But generally speaking, 99% of the time, you're going to have a big number, small number. You write big number minus the small number. You're going to get an answer. Last step, you look back to the original numbers and you say to yourself, did we originally have more positive or more negative ones? And remember, this is that coin thing. So did we have more positive coins or more negative coins? The one that you have the most of, that is the sign of your final answer. More positive, the answer is positive. More negative, the answer is negative. So for these 2 problems right here, the one on the left, I take the absolute value of both numbers. That would be 7 and 4. I subtract them, big minus small. 7 minus 4 is 3. And then I go back to the original 2 numbers. Originally, I had a 7 and a negative 4. If we think about this with coins, we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 positive coins. And I'll do it in blue here. We would have what, 4 negative coins? 2, 3, 4. When you canceled, in other words, 1 minus 1 is 0, 1 minus 1 is 0, 1 minus 1 is 0, 1 minus 1 is 0. We're left with 3 coins that are positive. So this is physically that idea of me asking you, do we have more positive? I'm looking at this row. Or do we have more negatives? Well, we have more positive. Therefore, the answer is positive 3. On the second one, the numbers would just be reversed. Pluses would become minuses, minus would be plus. We're going to wind up with more negative coins on the second one. 7 minus 4 is still 3, except this time, when we look back at our original numbers, we have more negative coins. Therefore, the answer is not 3, but it's negative 3. All right, there is very quickly the 2 rules. So couple key ideas here. Key idea here is, one, you have to have either these 2 rules memorized or you need to put them in front of your face. So I'll go ahead and share the homework tonight. Where did I put it? Right here. So here is the homework, right, with the answers. So what I would suggest, if you have the rules memorized, I mean, you no doubt in your mind, then you might not need to do this. But for everyone else that are a little bit shaky, then somewhere on your paper or on another sheet of paper so that you can always see it, write the rules. We have the rule for same signs and we have the rule for different signs. Okay. For both same and different, step number 1 is ABS, absolute value. Absolute value, both numbers, ABS. I'm just abbreviating here. Same sign, you're going to add. Different sign, you're going to subtract, big minus small. For same sign, you're going to look at the original numbers. Whatever the signs were is the answer. And for for different symbols, you're going to think about the coins, right? Which one do we have more of? Do we have more positives or more negatives? Okay, so here's my notes to myself. Yours may not look like that. You may actually want to write the actual rules and have that in front of your face. Why am I saying that? Well, 2 reasons. 1, if you don't have it memorized, you need to have it in front of your face. And then 2, tomorrow we're doing subtraction. We get more rules tomorrow. And then when we come back from spring break, we're going to get rules for multiplication and division. We have more rules upon more rules upon more rules. So having these rules written out in front of you when you're first getting started, add, subtracting, multiplying, dividing integers, positive and negative numbers, is a benefit. It's a helpful. It's probably the best idea. When you have everything memorized, I mean, no 9th grader has the rules in front of their face. but I will still have next year when you get this class again. By the way, this is chapter 2, or is it chapter 1? It's either chapter 1 or chapter 2 of the pre-algebra book. You jump right into positive and negative numbers. Okay, so and then I said before, I said every other math class you take between now and the last math class you ever take, you're going to be dealing with positive and negative numbers in almost every single problem. The nice thing is that, yes, you eventually get this memorized. Some of you will have this memorized this year, but many of you will have to have this refreshed and in front of your face again in 8th grade. Yeah, by the time we get to 9th grade, it is rare that I get a kid that can't add, subtract, multiply, and divide negative numbers. But for this first year, I highly encourage you to have the steps written down. All right, enough of me talking. Let's do some problems here. Let's do some problems. All right, one at a time. I'm going to walk you through the entire process. This is the thought process. This is what goes through in your head. Now, I will write out the steps as well, too. In other words, I'm going to write out what I'm doing. But most of the time, I'm doing this simply because I'm trying to give you a visual representation of what I'm saying. Okay. Like I said, when you get good at this, you don't write anything but the answer. You go right from, hey, here's the problem to the answer. All right, so here's the thought process. Step number 1, we identify, hey, look, we're adding. So I'm going to follow the addition rules. The addition rule says we have runs for same or different signs. 4, well, there's no sign to the left of it that makes it positive, and 3 is negative because there's a minus sign to the left of it. That's what I'm visually looking at. I'm looking at the plus symbol, hey, addition rules. And then I'm looking at the signs. Are they positive or negative? Are they the same or are they different? Okay. We just figured out we're on the different row. So the different row says take the absolute value of both numbers. That was 4 and 3. And subtract them big minus small. 4 minus 3 is 1. Right? We go back and we say, do we have more positive coins, more negative coins? Right? What I'm saying when I go back, I'm going back to the original 2 numbers. A 4 and a negative 3. I know that's a little messy there. We have more positive coins, so the answer is, in fact, positive 1. Okay. Second one, I look at, oh, yeah, we're adding, step 1. Because tomorrow we're going to be subtracting. Okay. 5 is negative and 2 is positive. How do I know 2 is positive? There's no sign there, right? So that we leave off the positive when it's positive. 2 is positive, 5 is negative. We are still in different symbol or different sign rule. Take the absolute value of both, that's 5 and 2, and we subtract. 5 minus 2 is 3. We go back to the original numbers. Originally, it was negative 5 and positive 2. There are way more negative coins than positive coins, so therefore the answer is not 3, but negative 3. Be careful where you put your equal sign. 5 minus 2 is not negative 3. But negative 5 plus 2 is negative 3. All right. Since it's a worksheet, I want you to check don't do more than 2 before you check your answers. A lot of time when you do 1 and you check your answer, then you see the very next answer and it kind of throws you off. You already know what the right answer is. So I would encourage you to do 2 and then, so we got 1 and negative 3 and then check your answers. 1 and negative 3, we are good to go. Questions, anyone, either in chat or verbally, questions? David, you feel confident with this or not confident?
I feel confident.
Excellent. And you were doing a good job yesterday too. All right. Once again, I'll do about maybe 6 of these and then we'll get some people to volunteer how they do it. All right. Number 3. Look, we're adding. Tomorrow we'll be subtracting. There'll be a minus sign there tomorrow. But today we're adding. So we're adding a negative and we're adding another negative. That's the same sign rule. So the same sign rule says that we take the absolute value of both numbers. That would be 2 and 3. And we add the answers, or we add the 2 numbers. 2 plus 3 is 5. And then we look at the original numbers and look, we're adding 2 negative numbers. So therefore the answer isn't 5, the answer is negative 5. There we go. Number 4, hey, look, we're adding. Seems silly because every one of these today will be adding, but it gets you into a good habit of recognizing whether you're adding or subtracting, because tomorrow we get to learn the rules for subtraction. It looks like we are adding same signs because 7 and -1 are -7 and -1 are both negative. So we take the absolute value of both numbers. That would be 7 and 1, and we not add, we subtract. Well, that gives me a 6. We go back to the original two numbers, and we see if we're adding positives or negatives. We are adding negatives, so the answer is -6. All right, I said after every 2, we're going to check our answers. We got -5 and -6. So I'm checking my answers. Oh, it says -8. Where is my mistake? Because look, I did a mistake and no one called me out. The rule for same sign is not subtract. The rule for same sign is add. So see how easy it is to make that mistake, right? If you're just running through this, let me make that prettier. If you're just running through this and you're just not really paying attention, right? You can easily make a mistake because sometimes you're adding, sometimes you're subtracting. So be very careful. Like I said, what I would recommend, until this is so part of your math knowledge that you don't even have to give it a second thought, is I would look at the rules. Same signs we add, different signs we subtract. Okay. And yes, I did make that mistake on purpose. All right. Here we go. Number 5 and number 6. Hey, look, we're adding. We are adding a -6 and a +4. That's different signs. Different sign says take the absolute value of both numbers. That's 6 and 4. And I'm going to look at the rule. Different sign says you subtract. So we subtract. 6 minus 4 is 2. We go back to the original numbers. Do we have more negatives or do we have more positives? We have, in fact, more negatives. So we get to -2 is the answer. All right, last one for me. Hey, look, we're adding. We're adding a +1. There's no sign there. And we're adding a -5. Those are different signs. Different signs. Different signs, we take the absolute value of both numbers. That's 1 and 5. And we, different signs, subtract. Ooh, but it's big minus small. So I got to rewrite that as 5 minus 1. Big number minus small number. 5 minus 1 is 4. We go back to the original 2 numbers. I had a +1 and a -5. That's more negatives. And we got -4 is your answer. There we go. I said after every 2, we're going to check our answers. 5, 6, -2, -4. So we go to 5 and 6, -2, -4, bingo, bingo, bingo. We got it. All right, I'm going to erase everything, and now you guys, whoever is remaining here, are going to help me to do these. So let's see, David, you're up first. Number 7, talk me through it.
I forgot how to do it.
Same or different signs?
Same.
What is the rule for same signs?
We add them both.
Okay, so add the 2 numbers. What do you get?
4.
Okay, so 4 could be the answer, but we got to go back and we got to look at the 2 numbers. Were they both positive or both negative?
Negative.
So therefore the answer is?
-4.
There you go. First one done. Second one, number 8.
Six.
Same or different signs? That's always the start.
Different.
Okay, so now we're going to follow the different rules. What do we do with the 2 numbers for different numbers?
Subtract the big number.
Big number minus small, so 8 minus 6. 8 minus 6 is?
2.
And then we go back and we say, did we have more positives or did we have more negatives? Which one do we have more of?
More negative.
Therefore, the answer is
-2.
very good. You just did two problems, one with same signs and one with different signs. You said, I don't remember how to do any of this. And the only thing I told you to do was, well, do you have same signs or you do have different signs? That was literally the only thing that I said to you. And then all of a sudden you got it right. All right. So I'm going to claim, 1 second, I got to write a note here. Yes. I'm going to claim that you know what you're doing, David. Do you have the rules in front of your face, or you just have them memorized?
I kind of have them memorized.
Yeah, and I'm just going to say, I think that it's definitely helpful to also, maybe like a life preserver, have them written in front of you so that in case you can't remember them or whatever, then you have that safety net that it's sitting right there. Because tomorrow we're going to get some more rules when we do subtraction. So even though you think you have these memorized, which you do, you just did these two fine, it can become confusing because there's going to be some more rules tomorrow. Okay. All right. I'll take over for a few. I'll do a couple more. Let's see. Number nine. I'm adding. And the signs are different. I got one negative, one positive. So I take the absolute value of both. That's 2 and 6, and I subtract. But I need to subtract by big minus small. So I write the numbers in a different order. 6 minus 2 is 4. I go back to the original problem and say more negatives or more positives. There's more positives. So in fact, the answer is positive 4. Number 10, hey, look, I'm adding. Like I said, tomorrow, this will be a minus sign. Look at all those negatives. That's what we'll encounter tomorrow. Not today. So I'm adding. I am, in fact, adding to negatives. So that's the same sign rule. Same sign rule. Same sign rule says add the absolute value of the two numbers. 4 plus 6 is 10. And then you ask yourself where you're adding positives or negatives. I'm adding negatives. So the answer is negative 10. Checking my answers, 9 and 10, 4 and negative 10, 9 and 10, 9 and 10, 4 and negative 10. There you go. Answers are correct. Hey, that's halfway through the whole assignment. How you feeling, David?
Pretty good.
I think you're doing well too. All right, David, do 11 and 12 for me.
So they're both they're different signs.
They are.
Then we subtract
Big minus small, 7 minus 4, which is?
Four.
Nope.
3.
It is. We go back to the original numbers. Do we have more negatives or more positives?
More negatives. I mean, more positive.
So the answer is positive 3. All right, do number 12.
They're both different signs.
Okay.
So we do 6. 2. Wait. Yes, 6 minus 2.
We do 6 minus 2. That gives us
4.
Okay. Go back to the original one. More positives or more negatives?
More positives.
And the answer is 4. We got 3 and 4 for 11 and 12. Let's check our answers. 11 and 12, 3. Look at us. We're kicking butt and taking names here. All right. Let's do 2 more, and then we'll talk about what's next. Let's do 13 and 14.
They're the same signs.
Therefore, we
Add
6 plus 7 is,
13.
were we adding positives or negatives?
Negative.
So therefore, the answer is,
Negative 13.
all right, you are doing very well. Last one, 14.
They're both the same.
So what do we do?
We add 6 plus 5.
Which is,
11.
are we adding positives or negatives?
Negative.
So the answer is,
Negative 11.
okay. So for 13, 14, we got negative 13, negative 11. Let's check our answers. 13, 14. Yeah, we're killing it. We are killing it. David, I do not want to do the rest of them with you because I want you to do the rest by yourself. Make sense?
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to end the video right here. In fact, you are the only one. Oh, I got somebody else now. Who else is here? I got David and I got one other person. Is that Kylie?
Yeah, that's me.
All right, Kylie, can you do the next two?
Yeah.
Talk me through it.
Okay, so 15 and 16.
Yes.
Okay. So it's 8 plus 3 pretty much, and
Because it's the
whatever
same sign.
that's 11. Then and it's negative, so it's minus 11.
Kicking butt. All right. 16.
8. It's pretty much just 8 minus 1.
Because it's
So-
different signs, so we need to do not addition but subtraction. That gives us
Negative 7.
7, and there's more negatives and positives, so the answer is negative 7. You are doing well too. All right.
Hi, Mr. C.
Go ahead.
Hi, Mr. C. It's Mariah.
All right, Mariah, you want to try some?
Sure.
You better be an expert at it.
I better be.
Yeah.
Want me to do
All right.
17?
Okay, we're going to end it right here because it looks like the two people that showed up are all over this and they don't need any. I was thinking you guys were going to show up with some issues, but neither one of you, you both see. I'm going to give you a slight warning. And the only warning I'm going to give you is that just remember, tomorrow we're going to do subtraction. It's different rules. It's actually just different steps. But it can be a little confusing because we just did addition. You guys are confident about it, and then we throw subtraction, and sometimes that causes problems for some students. So just be ready for a change, but you guys can handle it. You're doing well on this stuff. Go ahead and finish that worksheet yourself. Make sure you get it turned in, and this is for anyone else that's watching this as a recording. If you are having issues, make sure you let me know so that I can help you out. I can't help you out if you don't tell me about it, but if you are having problems, like I said, generally speaking, some kids take longer than others to learn this stuff. But from what I'm seeing, especially for the people that are showing up here, you guys are doing really well. And I am happy and proud you guys are doing this very well. So I'm going to stop the video right here. I'll keep, I'll be by my computer until the end of class here. So send me a chat if you need any help on any individual problem. Any comments? Questions?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, just be ready for tomorrow, new rules, and then we'll go on spring break and you'll forget everything. We'll have to start over again from scratch. Hopefully not, right? All right. You guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
See ya.